back, everybody. Guess what? It is episode 20, Ray. Believe it or not, we crossed the chasm of 20 episodes because all the podcast experts. I remember before we started this podcast, I just wanted to watch a few YouTube videos and read a few articles, and they're like, most podcasts don't survive past 20. If you get past 20, you're kind of like okay. So that was always my mental benchmark.
Is that kind of like businesses, like 90% fail in the first year?
For sure. I think I forget who it was that I saw, and they were like, most podcasts, because they don't plan properly or don't really know what they talk about, they have like a topic, not a podcast. So they'll talk about that one topic for like 3-4 episodes, and then after that, they're like, do we talk about the same stuff again? Yeah. And so they lose a lot of steam. I guess what Gary Vee talks about, which is like, if you keep posting the same, if you're not ready to keep posting the same stuff, then expect like you not to post much at all. So in my head, it was always 20.
Brandon Carter told me he's because he talks about fitness and how to start an online fitness business. He said, I'm literally talking about the same thing 1,000 different ways. Yeah,
for sure. Like, I mean, it's like all those magazines, Men's Health, Women's Health, like every issue is a clone of like 2 or 3 issues back.
It's abs, sex, skin, and hair. Every issue.
Abs and buys, how to get shredded while eating the same, and then some type of nutritional trend. Exactly, right? It's always that, just in like constant rotation. So episode 20, we're kind of bringing back something that we did, kind of sort of during the early episodes. We're doing ad teardowns, which I'm excited about. I always love
these are my favorites. Ooh, we should do landing page. So Unbounce and Pepla Joy did this like years ago where they would do page fights. I would love to do that in an episode, tear down product pages. That'd be fun.
Yeah, just like be able to sit down and pick stuff apart. I personally like it because I don't get to do this kind of work anymore. You know what I mean? I don't get to like sit there and like get nitpicky and nerdy about this type of stuff. So
well, I picked some actually thinking about you because there's a few I picked that are a bit is it cinematography or cinematic? Sure. Sorry. Yeah, cinematic. And I thought about you because I think you have a unique take on it since that's the world you came from.
Oh, let's do it. I haven't seen these either for the record, for everyone watching. I don't know what the heck Ray's going to do to me. So let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, so these are, like I said, Dee said, you've not seen those. These are ones I picked out today, even had the team send some our way. Some will be a mix of stuff that we've seen out in the wild. Some will be things that our team made, a good, healthy mix. Now, but there's 2 rules that you have to do. Number one, I'm going to share an ad. You're going to go first. You're going to give me a rating of 1 to 10. 1 being this is the worst ad you've ever seen. 10 being holy crap, take my money right now. Okay. And the second thing is you have to give a 1-word description of how you're feeling about that ad or whatever comes to your mind. Just 1 word to describe it.
1 word.
1 word.
Man,
so
you know me.
Dee's word. Whatever word that comes to Dee's mind. And there's a big range.
Got you.
Okay.
Glorb.
Well, I was thinking this episode may be a lot of beeping out.
Right. Smash money.
Smash money. Oh gosh, we gotta keep that up. That was fantastic last time.
Let's do this.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So the first one is going to be, that's so funny. Okay. So this first one's actually going to be from someone that I follow, obviously, Social Savannah. She does a really great job. Obviously, she has a team that makes creatives. That's all they do. So this is an ad that I saw her post that is definitely worthy of taking a look at. All right. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so basically it's this really cool website where you take a quick quiz online, then they send you specific scents based on your answers. So you know how I love more masculine, smoky, like cozy scents? Well, they sent me 4 samples of different perfumes that are all that kind of vibe. Ultimately, this N551 was my favorite, and I think it's my new signature scent. Okay, I'll have to send you the link to the quiz because you've got to try it out.
Okay. Rating of 1 to 10.
Rating of 1 to 10, 7. Just gut feel, 7. One word. What?
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. Okay, wait. Before I get into my thing, what would you give it, and what would your one word be? I mean, it's a bit of a bias because you had more time to spend with it, and you're the nominee.
I haven't thought about the ratings at all for myself.
Oh, okay, cool.
So me, it would be an 8, and the word that came to my mind was clever.
Nice. Okay, cool.
All right. So why'd you give it a 7?
So I put I was watching that purely as a consumer. So already I'm outside of that ad's demo in 2 ways. One, I'm not female. 2,
you're not?
Yeah, right? Like, come on, bro. 2, I don't hardly ever use fragrances. So even if a male one came to me, I hardly ever use fragrances.
So you mean that scent I've been smelling is all natural D?
It's all natural, baby.
All right, let's go.
And 3, I'm Asian, so we don't have like BO. So like, I don't even use deodorant.
I know. It's amazing. You guys have all the genes. You age like wine. You guys don't smell.
The creator was like, hey, listen, so I'm going to give you these nice things, but your eyes are going to be small as shit and people are going to make fun of you for it. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy. So anyway, I fall out of those categories. And so hence, as a consumer, I'm like, I would have moved as a consumer. As an ad person, one, I always love ads whenever there is some type of interaction going on where it's a very natural hook to the next thing because it's 2 people texting back and forth, right? But after the reason why I gave it a 7 was because it kind of followed a certain script, a certain formula. So it's a person talking, and then they're unboxing it and talking about like what happens to it.
Are you saying it was too predictable? You think
it was? It was a bit too predictable because it followed that formula. I kind of like, I get what this is. Like I get it, right? Like it's not. It didn't lead me into something. You showed me Smell My Load. I would have given like a 9-10. And I've seen a few ads since then that I would have given 9-10 because it doesn't follow that trope where it's like it looks like someone is talking to me, but they're not really talking to me. It's an ad, and they're showing the unboxing, and then they're telling me to go do something, and the do something is like kind of sort of baked into the conversation, thinly veiled, but not thinly enough for me to be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna take that quiz right now."
Yeah, interesting. So I only saw this from the perspective of a marketer. It's hard for me to turn that off sometimes. But this one, the reason I gave it an 8 and not a 10 is constructively, first of all, is at the very end, she mentioned the quiz. And I thought it would have been a lot more it would have been a lot more authentic feeling if instead of diving right into this, I got it from this brand. It's like, I took this quiz and it told me the perfect smell for me because I feel like the next call to action, again, from a marketer's perspective, should have been to take that quiz. So I felt like it would have been a much better, realistic sell, her talking about how she took this quiz and have found this product versus going straight to the sell with the product. So I know I'm being nitpicky here, but that's if I could do it over, like I would have done it that way.
Right. Yeah. No, I love the way you're explaining it too, because you're providing a this instead of that, which I didn't do. I think that this instead of that for me kind of hung around the quiz part as well, to go, because I was trying to figure out what I was watching. So first thing was like, I was trying to figure what am I actually watching here? And I couldn't quite get a sense of it besides 2 people texting back and forth. And then a brand name got dropped. And then I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get what's going on here. I was holding back the the marketer, okay, predictability piece. For me, the authenticity part would be to go, they just asked me a few questions and then I got sense that were just for me, right? So all you got to do next is just answer a few questions for, not even call it a quiz. That's what I would do. I'd be like, just go in there and they asked me a few questions about myself, or they wanted to learn about me. And then I got these sense and not call it a quiz. It's the same action, but now it's so much more conversation. Well, I guess for me, most people would say stuff like, they just got me to answer a few questions about myself, which might be hard to be brief in a text. So maybe the text can say quiz, but then the verbal part, I think they said quiz as well.
Well, I think it would have been cool just to build in the believability of the quiz would have been mentioning then, going off what you said, a question. Like they asked me, what is my perfect man? And that helped me pick my perfume.
Oh, right? Yeah. Getting even more like they asked me about, and then like they asked me a few questions like, and then what's my perfect man? Or yeah.
And an 8 out of 10 is an amazing ad. We're just talking about Constructive. And I think incorporating the voice note, I think is very clever for me personally. So all of you Savannah Sanchez fans out there, we're not hating on it. We're just saying our opinions. Oh,
for sure. And but by the way, like what we're doing right now is kind of like what we do with our teams. I guess, I don't know, marketers can't help themselves. They're always like, okay, your variation's cool. Here's here's like my variation. Can we put that in as like the B test, please? Or can we put that as the seats? Also, the reason why you don't want to invite like 5 marketers into the room who all insist that their one is going to have to be a test too, because then you're going to have an A to E test. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at least if you can keep it highly controlled, that's helpful. But we just can't help ourselves. It's like, ooh, how about this as a variation? Let the data talk, but how about this as a variation? Like when Luke sent me a few variations for even some of the creative that we're putting out for ourselves at the agency, I'm like, ooh, how about this one? I want to throw my hat in the ring too. Put some spin behind it, please, and let's just see what happens because we're competitive.
Yeah, and that's the perfect mentality. My kind of marketer is I don't care about being right. I just want to make money. So if you put all the ideas in the ring you want, but as long as we don't have like this has to be the only way that we go, then I think I'm good.
Yeah, right, for sure.
We're going to move on to the next one. So there's a mix of both video, static, and just a really good mix here. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is actually one that our team did.
It's on newspaper.
Yeah, it's on newspaper. Let me pull it up real quick. Here it is. All right, so not all the ads I show, because they're not ours, I don't know how they perform, but I know this one specifically is actually performing and it's hitting our target CPA. And so that's why I want to show it as well.
10 out of 10.
Is your scalp itchy and irritated? Try using Strand Hair Care, which is a prebiotic for your scalp. It helps target the root cause by cleansing, exfoliating, and hydrating your scalp.
Their products are essentially skincare for your scalp. This worked wonders.
Without drying out my hair, leaving it clean, moisturized, and most importantly, dandruff-free. My hair has never felt so soft and hydrated, and I couldn't be more impressed.
Honestly, it never felt cleaner, so I definitely recommend jumping on Strand if you want to give your scalp and your hair some TLC.
Is your scalp itchy and irritated?
Oops, sorry.
Try using...
There we go. Yes, it is.
Okay, rating.
I would give that one a shoot. Now I'm just trying to think about what my B test would be. The rating for that ad, I would give it a 7 or 8. Let's call it 8. And the word, damn it, one word. And the word is curious enough to try. Is that one word?
If you say it fast enough.
Yeah, sure. Say fast. No, there are no spaces in between. I'll try it. Curious enough to try it, or I'll try it. Like one of those two. As someone who suffers from dandruff themselves.
Yeah, same. I mean, we talked about this before. Same. Okay. So me, I'm going to pick a 7. I am a little skewed, and probably I'm being more cautious, even because I know it's performing, right? I know it's performing well. So
yeah, exactly.
So the only reason, so my one word is going to be honestly, I thought to myself, let's try it. That's why I said too in my head.
Yeah, right.
I have
Exactly.
So for me, I'm sometimes you get desperate for that. Okay, so why did you give it a 7? Any kind of explanation?
Yes. One, it didn't, you know how some jokes try really hard, like some stand-up comedians, the joke, they're trying really hard to make it land. And so because they're trying so hard, it looks like a try hard. This one, it's an ad. You know that you're opting into an ad experience. It wasn't trying to thinly veil it with like an influencer or a creator talking to you. And then it goes into preachy ad mode. Benefit. It was an ad, number one. Number two is it straight up, because that first line is, hey, if your scalp is dry and itchy and flaky, come on in. Right? So I know because the audience knows what they're getting themselves into. And so it calls it out immediately. They're not trying to cast too wide of a top funnel kind of net, or an unaware kind of net, or a problem-aware kind of net. They're just going, because they could have easily gone, do you want luscious hair without flakes? Kind of soft touch, but they went straight for it. If it's flaky, if it's itchy, come on in. We've got something for you, right? And then the in-betweens, I do like that little star wipe, or just screen wipe of that same scalp before after.
That was fantastic. I like that too. Very good demonstration of the outcome you want.
But they didn't make a big deal out of it. It just moved. And then next thing was a person who had luscious hair. So they didn't hang on to that and embellish it so much as like, we get it. Every single dandruff shampoo says this. They just moved to the next thing. Right. And the fact that it's an Aussie voice. I like that too, because it speaks to a certain demo, or it resonates with a certain demo.
Nice. On my side, I think there's a lot of more things good with this ad than the 2 constructions that I would make are constructive feedback. So I just want to make that clear. I agree with all of your comments. The 2 things why I gave it a 7 is going to be, one, it's not within our control, is the text in the video. There's elements where it wasn't readable easily.
Yes.
But that's also a brand style guide, right? So like those are, our hands are tied. And the other one's going to be just in the beginning, just to hook. It went straight for the jugular as well. Like you mentioned, have this, try this. I would have wanted a little bit more like ease me into it, like foreplay me just a little bit before, we get right to it. That's my only feedback. But besides that, it is a good ad, and I know it's converting. So 7 out of 10 is still a fantastic ad, obviously, because it's making money.
What would you use for the lead-in?
So that's a really good point. So I think the hook is fine. It's definitely going out for problem-aware market. So I think that's fine. It's just in between that, introducing the product, I would have liked a little bit more of a lead into it. So for example, that could be something like struggling with dandruff and you're embarrassed when you wear that black shirt. Have you thought about this? Or you probably tried other products. You should consider this because this is working for me. I think I just need something in between that to where, as a consumer, it would have been so much of like a getting hit with the brick. It would have been more of a gentle introduction. So I felt like I could choose to continue or not. So that's how my mind thinks about it.
Right. Yeah. That's my delta as well. So I said 7 or 8. So the 3 or 2 points that are remaining are really around the, especially for a product like that. I don't know. My B test, or the test that I would throw into the ring, exactly to your point, is really around the emotional side or the social status side.
Yes.
To go, are you embarrassed to wear black? Or Do you hate snowy mountains on your shoulders?
Can I add one to what you said? Is do you have to choose specific hairstyles to hide it?
Right. Are you right? Yeah, exactly. Or even something like, so how's your hat collection, bro? Like, just, I mean, it's not for dudes, but if I was putting out a dude version, it'd be like, so how about you get rid of your hats and let your hair shine? Something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to channel, as part of this exercise, if I had to write copy for this or come up with the angles, I would probably try to channel my inner, what's his name on Queer Eye? The one that's in charge of like self-care, Jonathan Van Ness. I'd be like, what would it be the exclamation that he would make as a like super over the top, charismatic, like loud character? And then just shove that into my brainstorm Notion and be like, but all hitting the emotion. Aren't you tired of having to hide your hair? Or like, when was the last time your man ran his hands through your hair? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, right? Where it's like, oh shoot, no,
or
I don't have.
Do you like it when your man rubs his hand through hair, but you're afraid to let him? Right.
Sure, exactly. Like some, and then we sit there and massage it to let it roll off the tongue a bit better. So we've got that, and then the other side, especially if it's an ad that's trying to go a bit more, product aware, right, or a bit more solution aware, then I would skew a bit heavier to what makes us different. Because anti-dandruff shampoos have existed forever, and there are some huge incumbents. When people say anti-dandruff shampoo, first name that comes to mind, it'll pop in their head, and it would not be that smaller brand that's not an incumbent.
That's a good point. They mentioned the video probiotic, but just by watching the video, you have no idea why that's better than the leading one that has sulfates in it or whatever.
Right, exactly. Right. That might just like burn your, like Nat was the one that told me this because I used to be a firm, what are you talking about? Use your Head and Shoulders. Everyone uses Head and Shoulders. Right. And then she was like, "Do you know that the Head and Shoulders is the thing that's causing you the dandruff, right?" She's like, "I'm like, what are you talking about? The Head and Shoulders gets rid of my dandruff. It says it on the box." And she's like, "Yeah, you're an idiot. You're working marketing. What are you doing?"
She knows better.
Yeah, because supposedly, I have not done any research. I just listened to my wife. She's my researcher. She goes, "You use it. It gets rid of dandruff in that moment. It dries out your scalp after that." And then, so since your scalp is dry and it doesn't have all the natural stuff that is supposed to be in there, you're back at square one again, and then you use it some more. So they've kind of got you locked. And I'm like, holy crap, I feel like an idiot.
It's amazing how they get away with it. Okay, so the next one is actually one of the ones I'm the most excited to show you. And the reason why is going to be because I think it's a close contender to a previous ad that we've been so impressed with. So give me a second. Okay. All right. So this one, again, I found on X. So thank you to Ari on X. This is credit to them. All right. You ready?
Let's go.
You can charge your cell phone on
No way.
Yeah, it does. You got to see this part too.
Wait, take this off.
You got to see this. This is so cool.
Okay, you can charge your phone. Then watch this. Oh wait, I have to get the lock.
Get the lock.
Kidding me. Okay, and then this is cool too. You can do this, and you can put your phone here and like watch a movie.
What?
And then you can. I found on Amazon.
Wait, is he fascinated with your bag?
Yes, he can.
It's like, the bag of bags.
It's a bag of bags.
You know what, God?
When I take this anywhere, people come to me and they freak out because
of the cup holder.
And then not only that, but you can lock it.
I was joking about the cup holder.
Yeah, show them all the tricks.
Yeah, she was just like, oh, look at this.
What? I swear in another life I was like a QVC host.
Yeah.
So this is where you can also charge everything too. It has like the cords inside, and then you put your laptop in here. It has other pockets, and then walk straight up. And you just, yeah. And it has 360 wheels. I love that it has this hook too for
And
the.
it's regulation for inside, for the carry-on. It's regulation size.
She's a beauty. Everybody loves her.
I know.
Results speak for themselves, man. 5 mil views, almost 500,000 likes. That right there, that right there is a 9.
A 9, okay.
Yeah. And my one word is want.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I'm actually going to give it a 10, personally. And my one word is jealous.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Why 9? Why not 10? It's just because of when the camera kind of goes like this and this and this.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
Right. And I'm just it kind of took me out of it for a second. But I mean, come on, 9 points. Like it's up there. That when that lady was like, I kind of feel like QVC host. I'm like, bing, right there. But it's so. I love the format. Number one, it is not very out of the question. If I ran that brand and that was, if it was actual user generated content that got sent my way and it got that type of notoriety and we started seeing that happen, it would be out of the question to engineer other situations like that, if that makes sense. So walking to my Airbnb, someone stops me, and then you do that version, but in a different environment, or something kind of more also in that vein of like, excuse me, I think your bag's broken. Oh no, it's not. Actually, it's a
That'd been cool.
Right. So someone so instead of the owner filming it, it could be someone else filming, be like, oh my God, that lady's bag's broken and she doesn't even know it. Let me go tell her. And then tap her on the shoulder and be like, excuse me, lady, your bag's broken. It's like, no, oh, thanks for telling me. Actually, it's not broken. I unlocked it before, just forgot to close it. And it's like, oh my God, is that your laptop? And then you start going into the things, and then one thing leads to the next.
That would have been good. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So the reason I gave it a 10 out of 10 is I personally didn't like when the phone would leave the viewing of the bag as well. Like I got really impatient, but I think that's what just adds to the realism and authenticity of it. Because I'm like, a normal person would not have it perfect as well. So that's why I give it 10, because frankly, it demonstrates, and also seeing the reaction on that guy's face, plus him like being so interested, he's like taking a picture of it. I just think it's fantastic. I think if you could, I mean, why I'm jealous, frankly, is I want to take all of our brand's products and just go into a public place and just start doing that stuff just to capture some of that. But I think overall, in terms of an ad that feels authentic, feels real, you don't feel like you're being hard sold to, and the fact that it's already performed with 5 million views, that ad would crush scaling as an ad.
And it plays into the number one type of piece of content. Sorry, that was a weird sentence. It plays into the number one type of piece of content that fuels the entire internet. The entire internet. Voyeurism. You feel like you're getting to watch something that someone managed to record that really should not have been recorded. Voyeurism, right? It's it's America's Funniest Videos. Same thing. Someone was just walking up their front yard and into their home, and because it's iced over on the stairs, they fall over. You laugh. Like humans just love that. Amazon person is leaving a package. There's a cactus behind them. They're bending over. Boop! Cactus boops them in the ass. And then you're like, I got to watch that. That fuels so much of human curiosity. And that right there is straight up. You're like, ooh, something's happening. Even if you don't have context, even if you don't know what's going on, that micro thing is the first thing that leads you in. And I love that. Love that.
And it's funny because it's not that easy to pull off either if you're trying to do it intentionally too. Because I think we've all seen those interview style pieces of content, people like out in a public place. It still feels very different. You'd almost have to do it with the phone, have someone who's not a professional taking it to get that feel.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, that was a great one. I thought you enjoyed that one. Okay, so the next one is going to be, our team design. This is a static. I'll tell you how this ad is performing after I get your rating.
Yeah, please.
Your results, because I did that last time.
Cool. Okay. I think I got it. I'll give it a, okay. 5 out of 10. And first thing that comes to mind is what? I'm only allowed one word, so
that's true. All right, so for me, I'm actually going to give this a 6 out of 10. I'm a little bit partial to before and afters personally, and so I do tend to skew more that direction myself. And the word I'm going to give it is spicy, and I can get into that why, but.
Well, I mean, it's not really. It's not exactly strictly a before and after.
It's
more
a
like
comparison.
It's like a side by side.
Yep, that format I'm a little partial to personally.
I want to know why spicy.
Because they're attacking, without mentioning the name. So because they're attacking the other brand. I think we know who the other brand is.
Sure.
Spicy. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, got you.
Especially because I saw the 173 BBB complaints. I'm like,
right.
Ooh.
Right. And that's why I gave it a 5. I didn't even get to that.
Oh, really? Because of a lot of text?
Because a lot of text, and maybe you're right. After all, with the whole like cinematography thing, there's in cinematography, photography as well. Most kind of visual art training, they talk to you about the focal point. So essentially, where is your eye when you look at a photo or when you're watching a movie? Where is your eye first drawn before it explores? Right. So you'll notice in some movies, if it's like a whodunit or like someone walking down an alleyway, they'll light a part of the scene so it stands out, and then everything else is kind of in the background, lit differently, but it pulls you there, and then it lets your eye explore and breathe everything else. So from a design standpoint, it really hung and latched onto the images of the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it everything else was the same color, and it used the top text size to try to draw your eye there, but it didn't really do it for me. All I saw was my eye went, if I had to narrate where my eyes went, it went to box side by side. And then I just saw a jumble of text and then some words that were completely irrelevant to me, because clearly I have to have had known this brand, why this brand versus the other brand, and then what the benefits are. So clearly it's going for someone who is a bit further down the awareness stages. Whereas for me, I'm like so far up that because I don't even have any food subscription boxes whatsoever. So I'm not in that pocket, number one. And then the other part being, it's like, because of how wordy it is, it loses me too, in that type of a way. And also because of how there's like hardly any contrast whatsoever in that image. I would have played around with dimming the other one slightly, or having some type of a layered effect so that the second one is just a bit further back with some type of maybe a shadow. I don't know. Coloring could be different, but pull my eye into something just like copy, right? Where is the first paragraph? Where's the second paragraph? How does it lead me to the third? It's just like one big wall of text. Design has a completely different language, but it's the same thing. It's just one big wall. So that's where my 5 is. What made up the first 5 to what goes into the 5 score rather than the delta? I get what they're trying to do as marketers, right? We are better on these things, not on the other things. But the part where it misses the mark for me as a completely unaware person is I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And where's the emotional piece? Like, right? Like, is it tasty? Is it, so it's a lot of utility, but not a lot of, which, you know, a static can only do so much.
Correct.
But I don't know. Do you show the sub box, or do you show what the sub box can make? What if you showed me like sizzling steak and the other one looking kind of gray? Ooh, you know those steaks, right? You know those steaks where like you buy and they're not all that fresh, or they're several days old, or they're frozen first and then they thaw it out and it comes to you, and then when you fry it up, it's like this thing looks like it came from the 1800s.
Dude,
is it cured? You know?
Yeah. Okay, so my score, I have a lot of the same feelings as you. It is a lot of text. Now, what's interesting, just because I know the context and I know I'm probably skewed, like, is the strategy that Bradley, who's on a podcast with us, is doing on this
Schmadley.
Yeah, what Schmadley is doing on the ad is they're purposefully going this direction because it's a deposition from the other brands that are very high end and polished feeling, and this feels more down to earth, more small business. And there's a bunch of other ads I could show you guys, but so I understand what they're doing here. I have the same feelings as you. The CPA, this is interesting because we have the back end of the ad account. This ad particularly
is crushing.
It really is crushing.
Really?
It's half the CPA of what it was back in January before we took over the ad account. Half. So it's crushing so well that we got an email this morning from that brand asking us to pause ads for the weekend because they can catch up on inventory. So
we don't have enough cows.
Yeah, that's not the only ad that's running. But I really like where you were going with what you would change. And I think these are what I'm about to say are a few iterations I think about. Is the first one is the example of that brand with the sizzled steak versus another brand. Kind of grayish, kind of like looks like something's off with it, like it's bad. Okay. Another one would be a picture of where it comes from versus like in a factory, juices being squirted into the steak, like pesticides,
hormones or whatever
being injected, and I feel like that would be a good one. And then the third thing would be this ad is highly product aware, so it's going after people who already either have a subscription box or already doing it. So that makes sense. But I think I would go up the awareness level, and I would then do benefits, of like what benefits like. Healthier choice because it doesn't have hormones, right? No hormones. Or things like actually better for your gut health because you're not eating poison with the hormones. Like I'd go that direction, the benefits of it, but I am being nitpicky and I am a bit biased because I know it's crushing.
Yeah. It's immediately when you were saying that, what came to mind for me is it's all choices. It's all allocation of budget and, a bunch of different other things in there, like decision-making wise. But what popped into my mind as you were saying, this is going after an audience. This one particular ad that you were sharing is going after an audience that is aware of the products out there in the market, and they're trying to tip them over into choosing us. All I can think of right now is back when you took us for that walk in downtown Nashville. Say, for example, we owned a bar. And we just had a small, a no-name bar.
Right hook bar.
Right. Down that strip, right? The Johnston Honky Tonk.
Now we're talking.
We're going to have a good old time. And it's right next to it's sandwiched between Kid Rock's and Blake Shelton's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Right. So now you've got that going on. So you can go after hey man, don't go after those Hollywood people. They're Hollywood. Come here and have a real good time. So you're trying to convince people that are standing in line outside of Blake Shelton's bar and outside of Kid Rock's bar. That's one way to do it. So you are going in market. They're already down to party. They just want to go in there, but you have to convince them. Or you can walk up the street a little bit to where the food courts are that they haven't even gone to see those yet and be like, hey, you want a good time? Can I show you my phone? I've got a live webcam of what like the fun time we're having in the bar right now. And just hit play. So they are not aware of all the choices that are right in front of them right then. Different audience, probably different level of convincing that needs to occur. Because by the time if I'm standing in line for Blake Shelton's bar, I'd be like, yo, I get a chance to see Blake Shelton. What do you got in your bar?
Yeah.
Now I've got to start like doing the dance and starting to justify, right? Oh, you don't need a Blake Shelton. Like, Tom Cruise might show up at my bar. You like Scientology? Like, right? Or you can just walk up the street. So if it were me thinking in bar terms, and I was a bartender for like ever, I'd probably send a few of my promo people, be like, yo, go up there where people are pre-gaming, get those pre-game people. And then for the people that are like savage or like, I don't know, super attractive and very convincing, hey, just walk on over to the others and see like what's going on over there. And if you can bring a few people over, awesome. But I don't have as high expectations as the one that are like pre-gaming. That's what popped to mind when you were saying like tip people over, right?
That makes sense. Yeah. So I think that ad, as much as there are things that we would change on design aesthetic, it's a really great reminder that
it's crushing. Hell do I know?
Yeah. Right. Okay. So I'm going to show you a couple more. So
and I mean, to be frank, we'll cap this off while you're loading it up. To be frank, by the time you are at that level of trying to figure out what to buy, you probably want all those details.
And that's exactly right.
Right? Like if I'm choosing a 40-inch monitor, a Samsung or LG or, Schmanschmanny's LCD monitor, I'll probably go like, ooh, which ones? I need to know all the specs. Like how many pixels can they squeeze into each millimeter? And what's the color depth? And does it massage my legs?
And just for everyone that actually watches this and that's what's different about actually doing proper creative strategy, is you're going after the people specifically because they're educated enough to care about those things versus just hammering that stuff and expecting it's going to reach all people and they're going to be interested. There's other strategies for other types of people and what they actually know about what you're
Hands
buying.
Hands down.
All right. So this one's actually pretty interesting. I'm curious to hear your take. What would you rate this? And by the way, this is from our friend Nick Theriot. He made this and posted it. What rating would you give this?
Ooh, man, this is in the classics playbook. I love it. Well, personal inclination. I mean, stuff like this as a marketer, I'm always like, this is like an 8 or 9 for me.
Oh, okay.
Classic clickbait. Come on. This common thing we use daily has like an insane amount of bacteria, more than your water. Tell me what it is. What is it? Click.
Yep.
You got me. Click. Right. You might lose me on the next page. Fine. If you start to just like bait and switch me, whatever. But for that on its own, click. This one thing proves why Asian men can't have bigger eyes. Click.
Or this one thing makes Asian men have bigger eyes. Click.
Right. Exactly. Right. Like, you'll never believe what they found in the Arctic 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, I'm a hard click on that one.
Right. Exactly. It's like it's the setup for. By the way, pickup artists use that. If anyone has ever read The Game by Neil Strauss, pickup artists use that for nervous men who don't know how to open a line with women that they want to strike a conversation with. Instead of, hi, how are you? Another tactic to use is, oh my goodness, did you see the fight that happened outside 2 minutes ago? No. But it opens that curiosity loop enough to be like, what fight? Really? There was a fight? Oh my God, tell me about it. And then click.
So for me, I'm going to rate this I'm going to say an 8 out of 10. It's pretty high. It's 8 out of 10. And the one word I would describe it as interested.
My word is click.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, for sure. What was it selling?
So that's a great question. So I'm pretty sure it's for bed sheets.
Fascinating.
Yep. And so I mean, because I talked to Nick, who made that ad. It actually is. It's an unaware ad, right? Going after people who are completely unaware. Yeah, perfect for unaware. I think really great positioning by his designer who made that. What would you change, if anything?
What I would because the guy is sleeping.
Yep.
Right, that's the image, and then but next to it there's a toilet.
Yep.
Can you show that? Can you show that again? Can you share that screen again, and then I can have a look at the what I would change. I would love to try a different version, where learn how you can protect your health and safety from it today. Number one, just completely nix it.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? Or if it has to stay in there for some type of regulatory compliance, whatever reason, word it so that it's not so robotic. Learn how you can protect your health and safety. I don't remember the last time someone said it to me like that outside of like the government.
I would agree, because I think the rest of the image, it feels like it's not an ad, but then as soon as you read that, you're like, okay, that's an ad.
Right, exactly. I don't want to learn how, like, speak to my emotional state. Or I love how there's a toilet next to this guy's head. Speak to my emotional state, or empathize my emotional state. You just drop something like
how to protect yourself from this happening.
It's like let's go back to that pickup artist example. Hey, did you see that fight that happened outside? Learn how you can have self-defense classes with me today. It's like, yo, no, let her answer the first question, right? Like, this common thing we use has bacteria daily, has so much more bacteria than toilet water. Oh my God, what is it? Click. As opposed to the second line, which kind of, I'm like, wait, now what do you want me to do? I still want to find out what the bacteria is. I don't want to learn about protecting my health and safety. I'm still at that first part. My intent is that not, don't tell me what my intent should be.
If I could change one thing, I would do a bit of turn of phrase instead and say, you might as well drink a cup of toilet water than to keep making this mistake. Like something like that, where it inclines that you could drink toilet water and be more healthy than keep using your sheets. So I would like to see that turn of phrase. But really, for me, it was the subheadline for me. I think that was the only reason why I docked to those 2 points.
Yeah. And I mean, that's so on brand for your style of copywriting too. Like, especially after seeing, like, you know, so much of your kind of copy. It's like, you would be absolutely crazy if by now you don't like this, or like,
you
know what I'm saying?
But
it's all like, it's always the you might as well be doing this if you're continuing this insanity. Like that whole calling out how ludicrous the behavior is, or calling out if you want to keep things the same. So that's very Ray. Like, if I ever read that in the wild, I'd be like, did Ray write this?
Yeah. I love to use that kind of stuff. Like, you'd be crazy not to spend your money here. Okay, so we have 5 minutes because I have to go in 5 minutes. We're going to do 2 quick rounds. Does that sound fair?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Lightning round. Let's go.
All right. So this is an ad that we made, and I'll tell you how it's performing in a minute. All right, you ready? Here we go. Okay.
Damn, son. 5-minute looping. 5-second looping.
Yeah.
The 7 one word is curious.
My rating is going to be a 6 out of 10. And then my one word, it's not really a word, but it's like, tell me more. Naturally, I felt like I wanted just a little bit more. Maybe that's the point of the ad as well, to force me to click to get more. So, and that explanation, it probably worked.
Yeah. Curious. So yeah, essentially, I wanted to kind of go, wait, what actually was happening there?
Okay, so
then again, we're cavemen. Like, we don't.
I know.
You know, for us, it's like, what even for the right audience, they could be like, oh my god, that is insane. It usually takes me X amount of minutes to do that, or whatever it might be.
All right, the next one is one that I've been saving for you because I really want to hear your take, especially from your videography background. Okay, here we go.
Clearly going after. Oh wait, shit! Lightning round. What do you got to do this in the lightning round, bro? I'd give this a 5 out of 10.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. And my one word is delayed. Oh no, sorry. My one word is gratuitous.
Okay, so I'm gonna give this a 6 out of 10, and my one word is gross. Like the poking in the skin, I'm like, ugh, you almost lost me. But all right, so what would you change, and why'd you give it that score? And we'll end off with you.
Okay. They were clearly going after the. I don't know if you've ever followed the So Satisfying type of Snapchat, right? So they're clearly going after that, a bit of like an ASMR thing as well, like zoomed in, that type of sound. So I get where they were going. But at the start already, as an unaware person, I had no idea what they were squirting what looked like lubricant over that thing. So I couldn't tell what that is. And then the second frame was it looking like a steamroller. So I couldn't tell what that is. And the word said beer growth kit, but I didn't read that word because I was looking at the squirting. Again, drawing my eye there. I didn't read anything else. Same. And then the next is this, where it looks like a road paving steamroller. I'm going, wait, I don't understand what this is doing either. And then it's going into this, and I'm going, wait, something's getting penetrated. Don't know what this either. We are 9 seconds in, and all that sound and all those extreme close-ups, I would have moved by this point before you even showed me that hand motion I liked. I kind of got that. I'd love for that to be faster. But this is more fun for the videographer than it would be for the strategist.
Or the consumer, you feel like?
Yeah, and for the consumer, it almost feels like the consumer was the last thought. The first thought was the videographer saying, how many macro lenses do I get to try for the shoot? Wow.
And my audio as well. Like,
and my editor is going to get to be able to do all these like swooshing, zooming sounds. This is the closest I'm going to get to an Academy Award. Where's the
this brand spent $100,000 for us to make these videos, so I'd better make it look amazing.
Right. Or embellish. And so gratuitous. It's so I always get turned off by any. And I bucket this into art because there's an art to this too, as much as there's a science. Any kind of art where it's like, it's more for the artist to pat themselves on the back, or like it's just a circle jerk for them. And I'm like a byproduct. Me as the consumer, I'm the byproduct of it. I'm going like, what? It's like being in those movies where it's clearly the creator did not care about you. Or being at a party and the person just talks about themselves.
I appreciate that. I have to run to a call, but guys, thanks for attending and seeing our ad real-time reviews.
If you want, how about this? If you want us to have our take on your ad, do us a favor, put into the description. Put into the description. You can't put anything to the description. Put it into the comments, please. We'll see if anyone puts anything in there, and we can start adding our take as well. It might help you. Or you might just feel like a piece of trash. Or you might even go, these guys are idiots. I went ahead with it anyway and proved them completely wrong. We would love that too. Hit us up in the comments. Show us your ad. I think that could be super fun. And if you like what you're seeing so far, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe as well, please. It will really help our channel reach more people so we can help more people. Ray, thanks for that, man. I really appreciate it. That was super fun.
That was fun. All right. See you guys.
Enjoy your call.